Here's why a negative times a negative equals a positive in a nutshell. Think of negatives and positives as like turns. An example here is, let's go with like, we're going to use 1 and 2, just basic, right? The first number in multiplication is how many jumps and which direction, the symbol. And then the second number is like the size of the jump. So let's say, for example, right now we have a positive. A positive 1 times a negative 2, you start at 0, right? So how many jumps? It's 1 jump, right? What's the size of the jump? -2, right? It's a -2 jump. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and I land on -2, right? I'll land here. Okay. Now, though, I have a negative times a -2. So again, how many jumps? 1. Which direction? The opposite direction, right? You're doing a turn. So 1 jump, the size of the jump is a -2, but in the opposite direction. And the opposite direction of -2 is +2, right? This negative is going to change the opposite direction. So let's pretend that now this was a -1 times a +2. Well, again, what's the size of the jump? A +2. But in the opposite direction of +2 is -2. And that's why -1 times +2, right, would equal still -2, right? But the two negatives is like 2 turns that ends up in a positive.